Hello, my super Sagittarius, and welcome to your moon reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you enjoy this, please do like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all that other great stuff. I would super duper appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me, and it would also help you get a notification when I put up the abundance, wealth, finance type reading that I plan to put up very shortly. We all want to know what kind of financial outcome we're going to have. But also, this is a fantastic moon month for us. We're going to have a lunar eclipse very close to Halloween. Also, we've got a Friday the 13th this month, I believe. So lunar shifts might cause some even more craziness than normal there. So kind of exciting, right? So let's see what our moon has in store for us here for your Sagittarius. This is a 7-card circle. Also, if you haven't checked out your general readings, they are up my channel, so please do so. But let's get started. So your first card here is indicative of where you are now or what you're facing. Second card is what caused you to get into that position. Third card, similar to a general tarot reading in that it is like the challenge card. Okay, so it's what's keeping you in this cycle. Fourth card is your best optimal outcome should you follow the 5th, 6th, and 7th cards. So let's get into it and kind of see what it is that you might be facing and what are the best options to kind of get you through it, okay? So right now I see that you guys are dealing with peace, and I know you're like, what? Okay, that sounds great, right? But for most of you, what I feel like is this is a lack of peace, okay? I feel like this is what you're fighting for. For a lot of you, I feel like you are not able to find your peace right now. And a lot of that is, I do feel like for most of you, the feeling that I'm just getting from this is that a lot of you are just feeling overwhelmed, okay? I'm not necessarily feeling that there's anything here that's telling me that you are like going through like hell and high water type situations, right? You may very well be. You could be in that situation as well. Hopefully not. Oh, sorry, my kitty's here. So, hopefully not. Come here, baby cat. Let's get you down. I think for most of you, what it is that you are just having trouble finding your way to peace. You're too busy. You're too pulled too many different ways. You are distracted. You are overwhelmed right now and feeling like, maybe you've got too much on your plate. Maybe you have too many decisions to make. But I do feel like there's a lot on you right now, and it's keeping you from really being able to kind of just feel like you can let down your guard, have peace. And I think that's part of the problem for you. And purity getting you there, this is kind of giving me a sense that a lot of you have taken a moral high ground or a moral stance on something, okay? So I feel like because you've taken a pure stance, a moral stance, that's not always the easiest choice, right? That's a lot of times the hardest choice. Let's just be honest. But because you've done that, or because you're doing what you think is right, what you think is best, it may be causing some strife, right? It's, maybe your kids are giving you pushback because you're like, listen, you're trying to discipline them. You're doing what you think is best for them, and they are giving you all kinds of heck, right? This may be something where, you've had to stand against, a significant other because they weren't doing you properly, unfortunately, maybe there was some infidelity issues, maybe, or maybe you've had to take a moral stand at work, or with a business partner because you didn't feel like they were doing the right thing by customers or employees, or at work, maybe taking shortcuts, things of that nature, or financially, what have you. And I think it's caused some, a little bit of friction, right? And I think that's kind of what the issue is that your moral high ground, really, because maybe they have some, moral turpitude, not necessarily to say that they are bad, but, if you're dealing with children for some examples, or you're dealing with people who aren't always, on the up and up, it can cause them to really want to come at you. And if you're standing your ground, it doesn't give you peace, right? It's not giving you much peace. And so I feel like there's some friction going on between you and significant others or coworkers or family members, however it may stand for you. And I think it is because you are standing your ground, which is an excellent thing. I think you're doing the right thing, but I do see that it is probably very much causing you a lot of, strife and struggle on a daily, right? So what's keeping you in it is growth. And I feel like a lot of that is, you are personally growing because maybe you put up with a lot of stuff for a long time. And now part of your growth is, I'm not going to do this anymore. And this is why you're standing your ground. Okay. And because of your own personal growth, you're wanting growth of other people. You want other people to also have that growth, whether they be coworkers, whether they be, family members, whether they're your kids, you want them to also, have self-accountability, be responsible, because you've grown and you've learned to do this. So maybe you were going along with a lot of this stuff for a long time, or letting things go by, or letting things pass at you, and now you're like, no more, enough's enough, right? And that's where it's kind of gotten into a position where this is kind of, you're at an impasse a little bit, a standstill. And again, take it as it resonates for you personally. It may be a work situation, maybe a home situation, but I definitely feel like there is like that little bit of friction that it's really affecting your peace, right? You're like, kind of inner peace is like, do I give and just let it go and, let them do their thing? It's not really, so I can have some peace. But at the same time, you're like, no, I'm not going to back off my values. I've grown. I see what's right, what's wrong. I don't want to do that, but it's, strife. So there's that, right? But the ultimate outcome is self-reflection. And ultimately, this card is a beautiful card for an ultimate outcome, because this tells me that you are going to be able to have an outcome where you are able to look at yourself in the mirror and be able to be happy with what you see, right? This is your goal. You want to stand your ground, be proud of yourself, know that you're doing what's right, okay? Above all, if they want to do their thing, if they want to not follow it, at least you tried. At least you did your best. At least you can be proud when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're happy with what you see. You did your best, right? You would like to reflect your beliefs and opinions and things onto other people in a moral way, of course. Can we always do that? No. But ultimately, you want to be able to have your own self-reflection be something you're proud of. And I think you absolutely will, okay? But how do you get there, right? Because it is so much easier to sometimes just give in, go with the flow, back down, be complacent for the peace, right? That's so much easier. But is it, that's not going to make you proud of yourself, right? In the end. So what do we do? First of all, wisdom, okay? And wisdom in this particular deck and this card is not speaking of, book knowledge, right? If you see they're looking up to the sky, they're seeking, higher wisdom, right? So in this case, what we're looking into is kind of like, seeking higher knowledge, looking up, asking for guidance, right? From whomever you believe is your spiritual guide, right? Whomever you personally believe in, seeking that kind of guidance, because that's where your morals really kind of develop from, right? Your higher guidance, your higher divinity, whoever you believe in. So really kind of seeking that out, asking, who is it? What is it? How do I go about this? What's the best way to try to, get my point across without being overbearing, and try to get them to understand and still stand my ground, and what's, seek that guidance, because, that's where you really are getting your morals from. So that's what you want to kind of follow anyway, right? So that's the first step. The second step is being resilient. And, you're going to have to be resilient because, like I said, it's very easy to back down. It's very easy to say, you know what, forget it. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. You just go ahead and do what you want. Fine, I'll sign off on whatever. Fine, I'll co-sign on whatever. I don't care. Kids, you don't want to go to mass this week? Fine. Kids, you don't want to do your homework this week? Fine. You know what? You guys want to, at work, cut corners and, give the customer bad, shoddy quality work and charge them for it? Fine. You want to do things, where we have cheating and lying and stealing and everything else, and that's what you're okay with? Fine. I'm tired of fighting this fight. That's really easy to do, to keep the peace. But in the long run, it's not going to be positive for anyone, and that, right? Okay, so you might have to take some resistance and be resilient to that pushback, right? But you are resilient, right? You are. You're going to get kids going, whatever, stay out of my business, I hate you, right? You're going to get people at work that are probably going to be like, oh, look at you, holier than thou, telling me what to do now, yada, yada. You know you're going to get that pushback. You know you are, right? But you have to be resilient, right? It's never easy to do the right thing. We all know that, right? If it's worth having, it's not easy to get, right? Of course not. If it was easy, we would all have everything we wanted all the time, right? It's gonna take some resilience on your part. So just kind of be ready for that, but you are a very resilient person. So this should not be a problem for you, okay? And once you have kind of pushed through, then I think not only will you blossom, because you're going to be proud of yourself, number one, for sticking to your guns, okay? You really are. Number two, you are going to see, I think, that the more you stick by your guns, stick by your beliefs, stick by what you are doing, there's always going to be those people who don't follow, right? There's always going to be those people that you can't change, you cannot fix, you cannot help. But there's going to be people that you do touch, okay? There are going to be people that you do break through to. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's your coworker, maybe it's 1 out of 100. But there's going to be somebody that your growth, your blossoming as a new person with this new, moral ground, high ground, is going to touch, and it's going to help you and them blossom. And remember, it's like the pay it forward situation. Every time one person does something good, it really is contagious, right? So the more that you stick to it, not only are you going to be proud of yourself and blossom as a person, knowing that you did the right thing, you're going to kind of share that with somebody else. And it's like spreading pollen for the bees, right? More and more and more will happen from that, okay? So be steadfast in that you're doing the right thing. Know that, okay? And as you do that, you're going to be, I really feel like you'll feel like you're more blessed, because karma, I do believe karma is real, okay? And I do believe the more that you do what's right, the more karma is going to bless you. And I do think that eventually that will bring you back to inner peace, okay? Regardless, you'll get to a point where you say, okay, I'm not worried about those 5 that are still going to do what they want to do, but I know I did what's right, and I got one other person to see that what they were doing was wrong and they're doing the right thing. And that one person is totally worth it, right? Or whatever it may be. Or my kid finally understands, or, whatever it is for you, right? And then that's where you're going to say, okay, not only can I look myself in the mirror and be more proud of myself, which is the most important thing, but I can also see my reflection being portrayed on someone else. I paid that gift forward. Okay. And so now somebody else can go out in the world and share that light with another. Right. And that's how we get to a better, more peaceful place in the long run. Right. So I think the best thing you can do is kind of just stick with it. You're doing you're doing a great thing right now. You're facing some turmoil, some strife, some friction. But I think you're going to come through it amazingly, a stronger, better, happier, more self-fulfilled, and definitely more inner pride in yourself. So I hope this did resonate with you. If it did, please do like, subscribe, share, all that other great stuff. And I hope to see you back soon. Bye.